Regional Media House denies publication of fake news, our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Tuesday, April the 3rd. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Sharon Coward. Good evening. The Caribbean Media Corporation is standing firmly behind its story in which it quoted Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit as saying he plans to speak with his Trinidad and Tobago counterpart about the Twin Island Republic's refusal to support the hurricane-hit island's request for a fee waiver at the Organization of American States, the OAS. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, told the Trinidad Express newspaper that the report of his planned meeting with Skerrit was, quote, the product of irresponsible journalism or being open to mischief from fake news purveyors, end quote. He further indicated that he knew nothing of any such meeting, and the first time he heard about it was on the news. But CMC's editor, Peter Richards, says he was taken aback by the newspaper, quoting Rowley on the matter, and he says he stands 100% behind the story.
To say that I am surprised that the statement alluded to or quoted by the Trinidad Express newspaper and alluding that to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, that the story was fake news and irresponsible journalism is mind-boggling. I mean, I definitely had a conversation with the Dominica Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister did indicate that he was going to speak with the Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister on the issue. I have a feeling, and I still want to give, as I said before, the Prime Minister of Trinidad the benefit of the doubt that whoever asked him whether or not he would have spoken to Prime Minister Skerrit probably asked him a wrong question, and he came up with that answer. Because I cannot, as I said before, the story is written by me, it has my byline, and I stand 100% behind my story.
Richards was asked about his view of Prime Minister Rowley's reaction.
I was more than surprised by the statement of the Prime Minister that my story was fake or the person involved is in fake news or irresponsible journalism. I know the Prime Minister knows my work throughout the Caribbean. I know not only him, I know other politicians. I've worked with other politicians. This is par for the course, as I would say, in my line of work. I have a responsibility as the editor of a regional news agency that goes throughout the Caribbean and into the diaspora. I have a responsibility to ensure that not only our correspondents send us credible and correct stories. As the editor, I do have that responsibility to ensure that it is right at all times. When I sit at my desk in Barbados and what have you, I do not sit and say, oh, this is what the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is saying, or do I say, oh, I know him, or what have you. In all the Prime Ministers in the Caribbean, all of them could tell you that I know them personally. Yeah. I speak to them, but I have no close relationship or anything. I hide nothing. The story is a story. I was not involved. I was not engaged in saying whether I'm going to look for fake news or irresponsible. And I mean, and come to think of it, by using the term irresponsible journalism, wow. After, like I said, more than 30 years in the business, if now I could be seen to be writing or engaged in irresponsible journalism, but what they say, I reach.
Meantime, Skerrit says there's no bad blood between the two countries over the OAS issue. Last month, TNT's representative at the OAS, Ambassador Anthony Philip Spencer, voted against Dominica's bid to waive its OAS contributions for the next 2 years. He had said the country would consider instead supporting either the deferral of payments of contributions and, where possible, the implementation of a payment plan. TNT's Ministry of Foreign Affairs subsequently distanced itself from that position and said Prime Minister Rowley had requested a report on the matter. But Skerrit says his relationship with Trinidad and Tobago remains solid. He said despite the miscommunication between the two countries, he remains optimistic about future relations. And Skerrit pointed out that the people of Dominica remain heartened by the support Trinidad and Tobago had given to the island after it was battered by Hurricane Maria in September last year. Meantime, denials by a political party and former national security ministers in Trinidad and Tobago about any involvement in the Cambridge Analytica data mining scandal. Both the Congress of the People, the COP, and the ministers who were in position in 2013 when the British firm allegedly engaged in a project with the government that involved mining information of citizens say their hands are clean. Last week, when former Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar insisted that neither she nor her United National Congress, which had the majority seats in a People's Partnership Coalition government, had engaged Cambridge Analytica, she pointed out that the COP was mentioned in a news report on the matter, but the COP is denying any involvement with the company. Judy Kanai of CNC3 News has more.
We are not aware of any contractual engagement between the Congress of the People and SCL or Cambridge Analytica.
COP political leader Caroline Persad-Bissessar is denying having any connection with political consulting firm Cambridge Analytica.
If it is that persons within the COP did meet or enter into any contractual agreement with the or contractual arrangements with these entities, SCL or Cambridge Analytica, I want to say categorically it was never sanctioned, never approved by the National Executive nor the National Council, and such persons were on a frolic of their own.
Investigations are currently ongoing in the US and the UK into possible interference in the electoral processes in several countries. Persad-Bissessar admits that former COP leader Prakash Ramada had initial discussions with Cambridge Analytica's parent company, SCL.
SCL was engaged by the party. Discussions took place with respect to press releases and imaging for the 2013 local government election.
She says at that stage the COP realized that it could not afford the services of the firm since it was struggling for funds. And she says while she was chairman of the party at that time, she was not aware of the discussions with Cambridge Analytica.
I am aware, however, that our vice chairman then, Ms. Nicole Dyer-Griffith, and Mr. Ramada were having discussions in terms of how we move forward as a party in terms of imaging of the party.
Earlier this week, a UK whistleblower indicated that a Minister of National Security from Trinidad and Tobago contracted the services of the political consultant firm to find a way to access the Internet service provider data for the entire country and to monitor what people were browsing.
I fully support the government of Trinidad and Tobago investigating this matter.
An issue Persad-Bissessar is calling for the government to deal with. She says that the party doesn't intend to hide anything, and if someone is found culpable, then they will be dealt with.
And all three ministers of national security who held office in 2013 say they know nothing of the alleged deal. We get those details in this CNC3 news report.
The first to comment on the revelation, then Prime Minister and head of the National Security Council, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, on Monday denied the allegations. She was swiftly followed by former National Security Minister Gary Griffith, who also denied knowledge of any such deal. CNC3 also spoke with the two other National Security Ministers who also held the post in 2013, Jack Warner and Emmanuel George.
No, there's nothing in my time, sweetheart. There's nothing. Nothing in my time. And I can assure you, there's nothing even in Mr. Griffith's time. I don't know what happened after. But there was nothing in my time, and even while I was with PP, as party chairman, there also was nothing either.
No, at all. At all. Nothing like that ever came across my desk when I was Minister of National Security. Nothing like this. This is like.
What about the other company, SCL Elections Limited?
I don't know them at all. Neither. Same thing. Nothing like that came across my desk as Minister of National Security. All of this is quite a surprise to me.
Each of the men welcomed the AG's inquiry, which will span every ministry, state body and the National Security Council to search out any engagement with Cambridge, SCL or Aggregate IQ.
Jamaica's Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, is heading to the UK-based Privy Council to get the final word on whether the agency has the power to arrest or charge members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The decision to go that route comes 2 weeks after an appeal court ruling that Indicom does not have that authority. Indicom Commissioner Terence Williams told RJR News that lawyers for the commission have filed documents before the appeal court seeking leave to go to the Privy Council.
There are issues, of course, in the appeal which need clarification. We have had 6 judges who have looked at the matter so far, and 3 have ruled one way, 1 another way, and 2 another way. So it is important for all the important issues in the case and constitutional issues in the case that they be finally adjudicated by a final court.
The appeal court ruled that the Indicom Act does not give the agency or Williams the powers to arrest, charge or prosecute members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force or the Jamaica Defence Force. But Williams insisted that members of his team can still arrest and charge police and soldiers in a private capacity under the common law. Still in Jamaica, a 44-year-old businessman who cloned and used the credit card belonging to Police Commissioner Anthony Anderson is due to reappear in court on May 1. Earl Hobbins was charged by the fraud squad after 83,000 Jamaica dollars procured through the illicit use of the top cop's credit card was used to pay his son's school fee at a prominent high school. Police said members of a criminal network had cloned the credit card and had stolen more than $1 million from his account over a 1-week period. The investigations began last month, and police are working on a theory that 2 people, including a woman, created 2 cloned cards which have been used to purchase appliances, vehicle parts and personal items. Coming up in Caribbean Newsline, an earthquake rocks Haiti. We'll have the details in just a moment.
Claims to have 2 billion users. 2 billion users, or approximately 28% of the entire population of planet Earth, now has a Facebook account. Those are extraordinary numbers and certainly unprecedented in the history of the world that one entity has access to that much data on so many people. Everything that anyone has ever posted on Facebook is residing on some hard drive somewhere, regardless of whether the original poster deleted it or not.
An earthquake with a magnitude of 4.6 rocked Haiti on Monday, but there were no immediate reports of injuries or damage on the French Caribbean nation that was devastated by a 6.0 magnitude quake in 2010. The tremor was recorded at 9:46 a.m. and was located at sea about 108.4 kilometers south of Belle-Anse and 111.8 kilometers southeast of Marigot. It occurred less than 24 hours after another tremor was felt in at least 4 communes, Anzave, Azil, Arnaud, and Petit-Trois-Denis. Venezuela is still objecting to Guyana's going to the International Court of Justice, the ICJ, for a final settlement in their border controversy. A day after Guyana officially filed its application to the court in The Hague, the Venezuelan Foreign Ministry issued a statement objecting to the move. Caracas said that it objects to the judicial settlement as a means of resolving the territorial dispute over Guyana's Essequibo, since it violates the preamble of the 1966 Geneva Agreement. That document establishes that the controversy must be amicably resolved in a way that is acceptable to both parties. And Venezuela said the move to the ICJ also violates Article 1, since it does not lead to satisfactory solutions for the practical settlement of the dispute. The Nicolas Maduro government has proposed that the 2 sides restart diplomatic contacts that would facilitate such a practical and satisfactory solution. Barbados will begin exploration for potential offshore petroleum resources next year. That's according to the Minister with responsibility for energy, Darcy Boyce. Speaking last week at the Regional Symposium on Strengthening CARICOM Energy Collaboration in Trinidad and Tobago, he said Barbados had successfully negotiated exploration licenses for 2 blocks with the Australian-based BHP Billiton and had awarded another block to the Spanish-based Repsol. Boyce says Barbados has substantial offshore petroleum acreage comprising more than 70,000 square kilometers. And he says the Energy Division intends to continue to market that offshore acreage internationally with the hope of generating more investment and exploration opportunities. The Energy Minister said Barbados intends to restart its licensing efforts within the next year. Over in the Cayman Islands, the new governor, Anwar Chowdhury, says he's looking at civil partnerships legislation for the country. But he says whatever lower government shapes will not include changing the definition of marriage. More on this Cayman 27 news report.
New Governor Anwar Chowdhury continues to take on the tough questions like rights for the LGBTQ community.
We're an advanced nation. We are a good place. We'd want everybody to have equality under the law.
During a press conference Thursday, the governor said he will continue the discussion on LGBTQ rights in Cayman.
We are looking at having that equality under the law through civil partnerships legislation.
He said he and Premier Alden McLaughlin will have discussions on the issue, among others, when they meet Thursday. He added the community will have their say.
I will follow the law, the Constitution, okay? And if there needs to be changes to that, that will be up to the people and the government of Cayman Islands to make those changes. But each time we will follow the law.
Governor Chowdhury says he understands the issue is sensitive and acknowledges Cayman's strong Christian foundation, but he says he does not see there being any conflict between the two.
Christian values are great values. They are values of tolerance, of love, of giving everybody who are God's creation a chance in life, a fair deal. So that's how I understand Christianity, and that's how I see Christian values.
The governor expressed commitment to uphold human rights for all. As for changes to the definition of marriage, he had one answer.
No.
Ahead of Newsline Sport, yet another Windies whitewash. We'll have those details after the break. Stay with us.
It's time. Kick back, relax, enjoy the view, the boats, the scenery amidst epic parties, entertainment and nightlife. Antigua Sailing Week. Experience 7 days of non-stop bliss. Chase the race daily by land or up close by sea as the crews compete for glory. Then, when night falls, the harbor ignites. Antigua Sailing Week, April 28th to May 4th, 2018. Antigua and Barbuda. The beach is just the beginning.
Where did you drop that party? We're there right here. Every year from now on, we're there right here. Uber Soca Cruise. Not miss us ever again. Tell me something, what's your name? My name is Terran Charles, aka Mr. C4, aka representing the C4 Promotions family. Don't know. Is this your first Uber Soca Cruise? First and not the last. Trust me, brother. Next year, I done book already, you know. You done book already? I book, they didn't even open booking yet, but I book already.
Back in Haiti, I started drawing since little.
Okay.
Yeah. And, when I came here, I mean, of course, New York,
okay.
You know, so went to Prospect Heights High School.
Okay.
You know, so that's when I really
got into your craft?
Got into drawing. And
okay.
So.
Pakistan completed the T20 series with an 8-wicket victory over the West Indies at the National Stadium in Karachi on Monday, handing the Caribbean side another whitewash. Opting to bat first, West Indies continued to struggle with the bat as they posted a paltry first innings total of 153 in their allotted 20 overs. During the innings, the side was left reeling on 96 for 5 after Andre Fletcher posted an incredible half-century, which included 4 fours and 3 sixes. He was dismissed on 51 before Danish Ramdin carved out a superb knock of 42 from 18 balls and 13 from skipper Jason Holder to put the Windies back on track. The pick of the bowling came from leg spinner Shadab Khan, who captured figures of 2 for 27. Medium pacers Fahim Ashraf and Usman Khan and all-rounder Mohammad Nawaz picked up 1 wicket each. Pakistan raced to the innings with 4 overs to spare. Man of the match Babar Azam led the runs chase with a half-century, while opening batsman Fakhar Zahman chipped in with 40 from 17 balls. Medium pacers Riyad Emrit and Odin Smith picked up 1 wicket each. The series defeat saw the reigning world champions slip from 5th to 7th in the ICC World Rankings. And still in cricket, Guyana remained unbeaten and on course for the 2018 Regional Under-15 title, while reigning champions Barbados continued their comeback in the 4th round of matches on Monday. Playing at Port Esquivel Sports Club in St. Catherine, Guyana was slumping at 7 for 2 before Zinul Ramsamy posted 57 for the 3rd wicket, with Mavendra Din Dayal 41 for the 4th wicket, with Jonathan Rampersad and a further 47 with Ramel Datradeen for the 5th. All told, Ramsamy faced 137 deliveries and struck 5 fours. In reply, Jamaica looked on course for victory when Jordan Johnson made 56 and opening partner Adrian Ware 48 in a partnership of 112. Meanwhile, Barbados used a strong batting performance to rattle off their 3rd straight win after losing their opening match, amassing 252 for 4 off their 50 overs. Opener Jaden Leacock top scored with 86, while left-handed partner Jacob Bethel stroked 81, as the pair posted 176 for the 1st wicket. Off-spinner Tariq O'Neill picked up 4 for 15 to send the Leewards crashing to 112 all-out in the 44th over. TNT also flaunted their impressive batting strength, gathering 236 for 5 or 50 overs, with Andrew Rambaran getting 71 and Narad Kisundath 56 in an opening stand of 146. The Windwards made a good fist of it in reply before falling short at 189 all-out in the 40th over, with Devoni Joseph and Yawani Joseph hitting half-centuries. Switching sports now, rising star Brianna Williams left an indelible mark on the 47th Carifta Games as she stormed to a 3rd gold medal to capture the treasured Austin Seeley Award for the most outstanding athlete, headlining Jamaica's dominance on the final day of the region's premier junior track and field meet on Monday. The United States-based sprinter added the girls' under-17 200 meters title to her collection as the Jamaicans swept all 4 finals at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. She burst from the blocks, came off the turn in front and never relinquished her lead, leaving Trinidadian Shaquina Bascom 2nd in 23.75 and Bahamian Jida Knowles 3rd in 23.85. The Jamaicans also stamped their authority in the sprint hurdles. Their dominance was spearheaded by Crystal Morrison, who clocked 13.11 seconds in the girls' under-17 event to smash Olympian Melanie Walker's 19-year-old record of 13.51 seconds. She led Jamaica 1-2 with Akira Nugent finishing 2nd in 13.35. Bashawn Vastiana extended his team's superiority in the under-17s, capturing the boys' equivalent in a record run of 13.6, pulling counterpart Javel Granville with him in 13.77. While Amoy Brown claimed the 3rd record when she sped to a time of 13.15 in the girls' under-20, eclipsing Samantha Elliott's 8-year-old mark of 13.42. A former member of Guyana's Judo Association wants authorities to rectify a 5-year-old matter over a name change. William Blackman, who was secretary at the time, is also claiming the association has been hijacked. Isan Griffith of Capital News has more.
The former secretary of the Guyana Judo Association, William Blackman, is accusing the members of the Judo Association of Guyana of hijacking the association. Blackman's assertions came hours after his statements from international Guyanese judo champion Darren Elcock on Tuesday in the press. Darren spoke of the treatment meted out to him in his attempt to join the local associations as he looked to represent Guyana at the next Olympics in 2020. According to Blackman, for an election several years ago, the elected members tried to change the name of the association due to ongoing problems with some members, but was flagged by an international body over the name change. But since then, nothing was done to fix the problem.
The present association is unconstitutional, it's illegal. And because one, they had changed the name to Judo Association of Guyana, which was overturned by the international body, and the international body told Mr. Royal Archer when he went to a world conference in Brazil in 2012 that they do not recognize Judo Association of Guyana. They recognize the Guyana Judo Association and its constitution. This being said, there was a special meeting which had changed the name and the constitution. And I told him when he came back, he called myself and Mr. Andy Moore. I told him that, well, in order to rectify this, you have to do the same process how you change the name, same process called a general meeting, and change it back. He did not do this.
He said it's over 5 years now that any election was held for the association. According to the former secretary, several top officials in sport are aware of the problems that is affecting the Judo Association, but to date no efforts were made to fix the problem.
I spoke to Mr. Yassim some time back and I asked him to correct this, and he said, man, don't worry, man, we're rocking the boat far, you know, to forget about it. I find this disturbing because as a lawyer, he should uphold certain ethics which is chartered within the Olympic Association and the Judo Association.
Blackman stated that Darren's situation with the association is very unfortunate and interesting one.
If you are a member of your club and your club is a member of the association in Canada, which is regularized, you will be automatically registered part of the International Judo Federation. So there's not a problem. So for him to come here and ask, at first word, there isn't a problem, but as I said, Mr. Archer is limited to knowledge of certain things and he doesn't ask advice. And that is why from day one, that is why we have this problem now. We will be advising him all along the way and they don't listen. So that's why we have a problem.
And that's the sport. We'll be right back. Stay with us. And that's Caribbean Newsline. Thanks for viewing. For news and sports around the clock, check our website at carnews.com. We'll be here again tomorrow. Hope to see you then. Good night.